Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chandan, and I welcome you all to my channel again. I am starting a tutorial on TestNG, and this is going to be the first in the list. Today's topic is different ways to set up TestNG in Eclipse. Yes, there are three different ways to install TestNG in Eclipse. We would check each one after the other. Okay, so let's quickly start. Okay, this is my Eclipse, and you can see this is a blank workspace. I don't have any project as of now. So the first one would be install it as a software. So you can install TestNG as a software in your IDE, that is Eclipse. Okay, so and the second one would be you will add external library to a project. Say for example, you have a project already and you want to install or you want to set up that project with TestNG. I'll explain you that as well. And the third one is adding it as a Maven dependency. Okay, so let's quickly start with the first one. So this is we have Eclipse open. Okay, and then first you have to do is the first and foremost thing that you have to do is you have to install TestNG as a software. Okay, so let's go to help and select this option, install new software. Click on that, and within this work with, we have to click on drop, we have to expand it and select the one which says, now you see this TestNG over here, so you have to select this particular, or you can go for this one as well. Okay, they both are same, it's just that you're mentioning the release. So this 7.3.0 is the latest one. Okay, so let's go with this. Okay, so make sure that you have this DLL binary, bintray.com and TestNG team for Eclipse, especially for Eclipse. And when you select that, it will just try to pull up all the software within this, but since we have mentioned 7.3.0, so this is going to give us the latest version, I mean the version which you have mentioned here. So you have to just click on this and you will see that there are two items. When you expand this, these are the two things which are going to be installed in this for this Eclipse. So let's close, let's okay, and hit next. Okay, this takes a while. So it calculates requirements and dependencies, and right after that, it will move to the next screen. So let's wait. This takes little while, probably 30 seconds or so. Not even 30 seconds, but more or less. So let's wait. And you can see it is downloading here. See at the bottom, all the binaries, they're being downloaded. And it will be added globally. That means once added, it will be available for all the projects. All you have to do is go and add TestNG library as a reference for that project. So you don't have to download again and again. So once we are installing a software, it is like installing a software on your machine and you use it whenever you like it. Okay. So let's wait for a while. And we are on the next screen. You can see that it has downloaded. Now we have the next button enabled. I'm hitting next. Now you have to, if you want to go through the license, this is the basic Apache 2 license. Okay, so you have to accept the terms and conditions and hit finish. Okay, so this is just going to give you a warning. Just click on install anyway because we need it. And you can see the percentage of completion is 83 and it is asking you to restart. So that means the installation was successful. So in order to be, in order for the installation to be complete, we have to just restart. All right, so it is restarting. And there we go. We have the Eclipse restarted and it is quickly checking the setup. Okay, and you can see we don't have any projects. So let's quickly create the new Java project just to make sure that we have the TestNG installed successfully. So let's start with this. Create a Java program and let's give it a name like test project. Right. So since we are installing, so I'm just adding it install there, and then leave it as it is, leave everything by default. Okay, I have, I'm using the standard edition 1.8. Okay, and hit next. And we are all set. Okay, and then once we are done, you have it. So let's quickly go and check now. In order to check whether TestNG has been added, okay, so sorry, I'm so sorry, that's the other part. Let me just go and add TestNG to this project. Okay, though it is available globally, but you will have to go and manually add TestNG to each of the project that you need. Okay, so this is a fresh project. We don't have anything there. All it has is JRE system library. We have to add TestNG as well. So right click on this, go to build path and configure build path. Okay, so when you click on that, this takes me to the libraries tab, and you can see there is no other library other than the JRE. So you have to click on add library. When you click on add library, you will have the list of libraries that are available for you to use. Now, so before installing, I mean, I should have showed you this, but before installing TestNG, this list wouldn't have TestNG, but now you can see we have TestNG to select. So let's hit next and finish and apply and close. Okay, now you can see that we have JRE, along with that we have TestNG as well. Okay, so let me just quickly create a class and show that the TestNG is up and running for this. So let's create, okay, class 01. Okay, and I'm not going to use main class because we are using TestNG, or if you use TestNG, then you don't need main class because TestNG will do all the execution for you. Okay, so hit finish. So this class is created, and now we are on the class. Let's create a public void, say for example test method, and then let's print something. Sorry, system dot out dot print ln and colon, sorry, I am in test method. Okay, now Control S, save it, and what you have to do in order to make this as a TestNG class, so you have to add test annotation here. Okay, so I will explain everything in the later tutorials, but for now, just in order to validate whether TestNG was successfully installed or not, we have to use, this is one way of doing it. So I'm just validating if I use annotations of TestNG or not. Okay, so once you have a method, and if you want to run this particular method using TestNG, then you have to add a test annotation on top of the method. So when you do this, like @test, you hover on it, and you can see there are many options to fix this. So since we want to use TestNG, so you have to use the first one, import test. Okay, and this will go. Okay, Control S, and now you can see that we have imported the test annotation, TestNG annotation test. Okay, so let me just right click on this and run as TestNG. This is how you run the TestNG class or methods. And since this is for the first time, so you will find here, hey, and you can see that, let me just expand it for you. Okay, you can see that, hey, I am in test method, this was printed, and it says pass run one, and you can see, if you see the report, this is the report as well, all green text, that means the method was successful, and this is, okay, the basic of what we see generally. So let's come back to this. Now this was the first way to install TestNG. Now in case you don't want to install TestNG globally, but still you want to use, you have a project and you just want to use the DLL, okay, I'm sorry, the jar libraries. Okay, so which would be the second option. The first one is successful, we are going to the second one, which is more or less same, but in this we are installing it as a software, but here we will be importing it as a jar or the libraries that we need for our project. Okay, so we'll create a project and we'll add libraries to that project. Okay, so we are going for the second one, add libraries to a project. So let's quickly move on. So okay, so now what I'm going to do is consider that you don't have TestNG library. Okay, so the first and the foremost thing which you have to do is you have to come to Google, and then you have to search for this download TestNG jar. Okay, so when you I probably you will get this as a first one, but you will not get jar on this. Okay, you don't get anywhere where you can see. If I click on this, which is the the default the home page of the official site of TestNG, if we are on download tab, if you see, but you will not get the jar out here. Okay, so I will not ask you to go there. Instead, you have to go for scroll a bit down and you have to go for Java 2S. This is where you get all the jars, okay, which are compatible with Java. Okay, so I'm sorry, so I mean all the jars which you use for your project. Okay, so click on this, and when you come to this, okay, it will ask you, it will share, it will show you this jar version. What you have to do is, in order to get the latest version, go to this TestNG. Okay, click on this, and you have to select the one which is the latest one. So the latest one is this one. Okay, 6.8.7, though the latest one is 7.3, but the one which is which is available as a jar on the internet is 6.8.7. Okay, I wouldn't recommend you to go anywhere else but this site, because this is a trusted site. Okay, so click on this. When you click on this, it will take you to this page, and then you have to just click on this. Once you click, this is a hyperlink, so when you click on this, it will ask you to save the file. This file has already been saved on my machine. Okay, so you have to save it in a folder, any folder of your choice. Okay, so this is the first one. Now another one, in order to use TestNG, is you have to download TestNG J commander jar. Okay, like the way we downloaded TestNG jar, we need J commander jar as well. Okay, so when you come here, you will see Java 2S come again, the same site. So click on that and go to J commander. Okay, and you go for the latest one again, 1.7 16 17. Okay, so this looks like this is the latest one. Let's go for that, and you just save this file. Okay, so I am saving it here. Okay, cool. So that's saved. So I will show you now the files that we downloaded. Okay, okay, so these are the files which I just downloaded. This is the one. So let me just rename it, else it will give me. Okay, let me just see. So right click, and because since they're zip file, so extract all, and yep, extract. So it is extracting in a folder. Okay, so let me just organize it. So let me just cut it, go back here, and paste it. Okay, cancel. I knew that this is gonna give me error. So since I have already extracted, let me get rid of this. Okay, so okay, now it should be, I should be okay to do this. Okay, now something is interesting. Not a problem. What I'll do is I'll just right click on it and rename this file as TestNG Eclipse. Sorry, Eclipse libraries. Eclipse stands for libraries. Okay, now I'll move this TestNG, the one we downloaded. I'll copy this and I'll put it here. I'm so sorry. I guess I downloaded the wrong jar. So sorry. Let me come back here to the site, and this was is the source one. Okay, let me go back to J commander, and see, you don't have to download the source, you have to download the jar. Okay, so the latest one in jar is 1.2, right? These are all the sources one. Go for this 1.12, and then you have to download this. My bad, so sorry. So let me download this in the same folder. Okay, let's download it, and let's come to this. Let's go here, and okay, we can view that now. This one is downloaded. Let me just double click on it, right click, copy, go to TestNG. This is where we saved and paste it. Okay, so we don't need this sources, but still. So now within TestNG we have TestNG libs. Now I'm going to use this one and this one. Okay, so two of the needed jars are available on my machine. Okay, so let's go to Eclipse again. Okay, now this time let's go to open. Okay, now let's create a Java project. Okay, so this will be test project. Okay, so since we are importing the jar, so let me just test project import, use rest, leave rest of the thing as it is, go next, and finish it. Okay, so now this is the earlier one, this is the one we created. So expand this. Now you can see we don't have jar again, the TestNG is not there. Okay, so what we will do is again we'll go to build path and configure build path. And this time again, instead of adding library, since we are installing it, since we are adding jars externally, that means from my machine, so add external jar, and we will go to this path TestNG and go to, this is where we saved. So let's go with J commander and TestNG. Okay, we are leaving the sources, we don't need the source. So hit open. Okay, we have added the needed jars for TestNG, and then hit and apply. Okay, now we have everything that we need. If you go to this reference libraries, expand this, you have the J commander and TestNG. Okay, okay, now let's quickly test if we have installed TestNG or we have added TestNG successfully to this project. Okay, so let's go to source, click on C, which will create me a test class. Sorry, test class, let's make it import. Okay, we are not using main, and click finish. Okay, so similarly, just let's go to this and copy this particular piece of code so that it takes. Okay, okay, we are good again. Okay, so let me just make it import, import, control S, which will save. Okay, now we are good. So ideally we should be good. You can see that the moment I added this, it has automatically added TestNG. Okay, imported TestNG automatically. I'm so sorry. Okay. I did a mistake. What? No, yeah. Now you can see that the TestNG was added automatically because I uses this annotation. Okay, so in case, let me just show you. Okay, now you can see there is a curly braces there, curly line there. So right, just hover on it, and you will find many options. Okay, so this is the option that you have to say import test annotation. Okay, which is added, and then we are good. So Control S, and I will just go and do the same thing. I will just run it as TestNG class, and let's see if it works fine. And you can see that it has successfully executed my test. Okay, you go to the report, everything is green, passed one, test method one. Okay, so we are all good here. Okay, so we have seen the second one as well, add library to a project. Okay, and we are going to see the most important, which is the Maven dependency. Okay, most of the project that we have uh, are they are majorly Maven projects, so we should know how to add dependency, Maven dependency to a project. So let's create one as well. Okay, so this is done. I hope you have understood this both. Okay, now we are going to create another project. Okay, so let's go and create a file, have a new. So in order to create a Maven project, we have to create, I'm sorry, in order to have, in order to demonstrate this, uh, the third one, I have to create a Maven project. And how to create a Maven project, I'm going to show you right now. So click on file, click on new. You don't have to select any of this. Click on others. And here you will find a list of type of project that you can make. Right. So under others, you will find Maven. If you have the latest Eclipse, then you will find Maven directly over here. Else you will have to install Maven, add Maven, and then you have to um, you know move ahead. So within Maven, go for Maven project and hit next. and leave it as it is. You are going to use the same workspace. Hit next, and here the one which is selected by default. Okay, in case it is selecting something else, make sure that you are selecting this one, which is Maven archetype quick start. Okay, and the catalog would be internal. If you see, there are many, but you have to select the internal one. And I mean, this will be loaded by default, but still, in case it loads something else, then you may have to select internal, and within internal you make sure that you are going for this artifact ID and group ID, Apache Maven archetypes, and Maven archetype quick start. The version can be any, but this is what you have to go for, the quick start. Okay, so hit next, and this is the group ID. I mean, since I had already created one, so this is pulling it by itself. So in case it is blank for you, you add something meaningful to this. And artifact ID is the project ID that you want to give, I mean the project name. So let's give it as like project TestNG Maven. Okay, let's give it a long one, uh, but it will be, so sorry, a little meaningful. Okay, leave rest of the thing as it is and click finish. Okay, now if you see, we have the first project created. If you see M on the top, that means this says that this is a Maven project, and if you see J there, that means they are Java project. All three are Java project, but if you see M on them, they are Maven project. So this is a Maven project. So I can, okay, if you expand this, it gives you some, the folder structure as well, and this is generally where we create our test. Okay, so the way we added jars or TestNG libraries in the last two project, in Maven project we add it as dependency. So you have to click on this Maven, I'm sorry, pom.xml. Every Maven project has pom file, pom.xml, and this is what it looks like. Okay, and we are on pom.xml. So the first and the foremost thing that you have to do is we have to add TestNG dependency here. Okay, so it's just like, you're just adding some lines here, and it will download the same piece of jars that we installed earlier or added earlier for this project. Okay, so let's just quickly see. And if you see that, these are the things we added when we created the project: group ID, artifact ID, version, packaging. Okay, so let's go to check how we can add jar file, I mean TestNG dependencies to a Maven project. So what you have to do is, first of all, I mean, you have to add two different things to this POM file. Okay, I will explain one after the other. The first one is Maven compiler plugin. Okay, so when you search for this, you will be landed to the Maven Apache org, and you have to click on this page. Okay, so click on that, and then if you see, there are two ways: either you add it as a property, and then or else you can just add it as a plugin. Okay, either ways. So this one looks easy, I mean they're small. So you have to do is copy this properties. Okay, and within properties you have this two line. Okay, now first let's go and check the Eclipse. Do we have properties? So if you see here, we already have properties added by default, so we don't have to add properties again. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to just copy this. Okay, the lines that we have, the nodes that we have under properties, copy this, go to Eclipse, and just hit enter and add these two lines here. That's it. Okay, Control S. So we're adding the compilers for source and get target. Okay, and this is the version 1.8, 1.8. So that is the compiler. I mean, it will compile your code. Okay, and this is what is needed to compile your code. And then this one is done. The other one which I wanted to tell you is, we get this. Okay, so the other one which we need is, we have to just write Maven TestNG dependency. Okay, Maven TestNG dependency. Just click on that, and the first you see is Maven repository. Just click on that, and you will come to TestNG. Make sure that you are in TestNG. Okay, so when you come on this, when you come to this page, you will see a different version of TestNG available here. Okay, and you will see, I always go with someone which has been downloaded, mostly. which is this 1352, but I also do not go even if it has high number of downloads, but if it is very old. If you see, it's April 2018 and now we are in 2020. Okay, we are at the end of 2020. So probably I will prefer to go with something close to 2020. So this is the one or this is the one. You can go for either one. Okay, but within this, if you ask me to select, I will go with 4488. But fine, again, you see it's December 29 and August 29. There is a year difference. Okay, but so let's go with this one. Okay, let's go with 7.3.1, which is the latest one. We use the latest one in the first project. So when you land to this page, all you have to do is just click on this once. Okay, it will automatically save this string to your clipboard. Okay, or else if you're in doubt, just click on this, hit control C from your keyboard and come to this. Now if you see here, it is within dependency. Okay, so it says it is within dependency, so go and check for dependency. So this is dependencies, and then within dependency we have JUnit. Okay, and we are going to add another dependency here. Okay, let me just organize it, hit tab, select. Okay, now you can see that the TestNG was successfully added. Okay, they have, I mean, JUnit is added by default. We are not going to use JUnit, but we are going to use TestNG. If you want, you can get rid of this. Okay, so we are adding TestNG and the version is 7.3.0. Okay, this is all you have to do, and then you just have to control S, which will save. The moment you save, you will see that it is saying building 38%. Okay, and it will download anything that you have added here. Okay, so right now we have added two different things. This is the compiler and this is the additional dependency that we have. So it will, whenever you make any change in the POM, Maven tries to see the change, and if it senses that there is something new added, or it has to download any new dependency, it will go and download that dependency for you. Okay, so let's wait. Now you can see it's off. We don't have anything running here, and if you go here, if you expand this Maven dependency, you can see TestNG and J command. These are the two files that we needed, right? In the second way, I explained you where you have to add the jar externally. Okay, so these were the two items which we added. Okay, so we have the things which we need. Okay, and this is the Maven project. Our project is ready. Okay, so we can close this POM file and let's quickly check if we can run our test or not. Okay, this is a simple test. We are not going with that. Okay, it adds automatically because it has some code here. So for this class, it adds a test class as well. So similarly, if you have an application, so application code, you have to add it here, and then when you want to write some unit test against those codes, you have to put it under test Java. Okay, so now within this, we are going to add another class. Okay, let's name it as test class Maven. Okay, and leaving rest of the thing as it is. Click on finish. Okay, this is we are not using the main class. Okay, because we are using TestNG. So now let's create a method public void test method Maven. Okay, all right, perfect. And write a sysout statement, system dot out dot print ln, and I'm sorry, write me just hey, I am in final method. Okay, just give it, or let me just copy. I prefer to do this. Okay, perfect. So we are still not done. Remember, we have to add the annotation. That would be at the rate test. Okay, now it has given you this line, and all you have to do is this. Okay, now if you see that we have TestNG annotation, I can use this as well as this. Okay, now the reason I'm not going for this, okay, the first, let me tell you why do you see add TestNG library. If you remember, we have added TestNG as a software globally for this Eclipse. So I told you that once you install it as a software, it will be available for you to use for all the projects that you have. Okay, but this is just for the demo purpose, that in case you haven't installed it, you can do it this way as well. So this is the reason why it is suggesting you either you can go for JUnit, or you can go for the existing install, the software that you have installed, or you have the the jars that you have added using Maven dependency. Okay, so I mean the Maven POM file, and TestNG was as an added as a dependency. So we have to go for this one to test it. Okay, to test if everything is working fine. So hit S, and let's see if it runs. So we are going to run it as TestNG. You can do this as well. Okay, let's go. And there is another way to run it as well. So you can see that it was run successfully, and this I'm using TestNG to execute my test. Okay, now since this is a Maven project, ideally we should run it as sorry, I ran it again. Okay, so ideally you should run it as a Maven. Okay, so let's go to, okay, I don't see Maven here. All right, so right click here, and when you right click on the project, okay, Maven, I'm sorry, run as. Okay, just a minute. So if I go to this should ideally give me. Okay, so let's go and run this as a Maven project, Maven, and sorry, run as Maven test. Let's see what it does. It's building, and you can see compiler. Okay, it is downloading everything needed. And you can see it has started running the test. Okay, and the build was successful. Okay, so my build was successful. The test was, see, you can see, hey, I am in test method Maven. This is the output. Okay, and if you see, yeah, everything is fine. And this was the test from TestNG. I mean, this time I'm not using TestNG to run my test case, but I'm using Maven to run my test. Internally, it is going. Internally, it is testing. Okay, so this is how you execute your test using Maven. Okay, so the build was successful. That means we are all set. We are good. So these are the three ways, to set up your TestNG for within Eclipse. You can go for any ways, but the professionals, they usually go for the first. I mean, this either they Mavenize their project, or they go for the first option, that is, they install TestNG and add it, and then they import. I mean, they add TestNG as a library, a reference library. Or if you just want to keep it for that particular project, you don't want to install TestNG as a software, you can go for the second option as well. So it's up to you how you want to go for. Okay, and this was the first video in this tutorial. And this tutorial is, as I mentioned, that this is going to for TestNG. I'm going to cover each and everything that we use on our day-to-day execution. Okay, whatever the things that we use using TestNG. Okay, we have dependency, we have a lot of things, like we can organize our test, we can disable a test from running it, we can run test parallelly. So there are plethora of things that TestNG provides. We are going to cover each and every in detail with examples. Okay, so I hope you like this video. If you have liked it, please hit like and subscribe my channel if you like it, for in order to see more videos like this. Okay, and in case you find anyone who thinks that who you think that he might be interested in such tutorial, please share the link with them as well. Okay, and thanks for your support. I am getting a lot of views, likes, and subscription from everyone. Okay, so thank you, and we will meet in the next video. Thank you.